Let's see, how do we get that to go away? I have no idea. There we go. Well, hello everybody, and I just wanted to jump on here one more time in 2020. Excuse the mess in the background. We are in the throes of moving, and it has been a crazy, frenetic, oftentimes tumultuous ride in these past 48 months, and the insanity has become heavier, sadder, and increasingly more grief laden, I think, over the past 11 months. And I wanted to take this opportunity to tell each of you that I appreciate you and to just kind of leave you with a couple thoughts before the year was gone. You know, some of us unfortunately didn't make it this year, and those will be people who are forever missed and held in the cherished places of our hearts and our minds and our memories for generations to come. And we know that the harshest and the most deadly months of this pandemic may still lie ahead in the coming 90 days as the consequences of the criminal negligence with which Vladimir Putin's so-called Trump administration failed to adequately and responsibly address this pandemic from the very start. This past year forced me to realize that some of those I most cared for were far more dedicated to chasing a buck than they were to the sort of values and integrity that I thought we once shared as friends and business partners, and those folks have been let go. It's also challenged me, I think, in a very real way, to look at the relationships I've cultivated in the both the spiritual and metaphysical communities, as well as the wellness community, where so much toxic gatekeeping and manipulation and self-service seems to diminish the value of membership and affiliation with those groups. But you know, the past 12 months have also resulted in my taking time to adapt, to discover, and to create or recreate new ways of connecting in more meaningful, mutually healing, life-affirming ways with those who genuinely share my core values and principles. And so for that, I'm really grateful. It's seen the development in this past year of an intentional community that has chosen to say no to the overly commercialized pop culture dilution and destruction of indigenous, culturally rich spiritual and magical practices and spiritual paths, choosing instead to celebrate the diversity and encourage deeper investigation, practice, and support for one another. It's led to a community that says no to the smoky-eyed Uncle Festers of the world, the self-aggrandizing Broomhildas, the mentally unstable manic meatballs of Mount Vesuvius, and pretentiously posh princess of Covendom, along with her affected accent and flat, impotent attempts to bully, coerce, and engage in parasitic behavior that just take and take and take from the folk magic, traditional, tribal, and indigenous communities, while leaving drama and intolerance and lies in their wake. And of course, it's seen the corner being turned in our society as we as a people globally, and especially here in North America, especially in the United States, begin the difficult and painful work of confronting and working to listen to and address problems like systemic racism and radical police violence and a morally broken, corrupt, and ineffective system of government. Soon, Vladimir Putin's cockholster will be behind bars, where vermin like him and his criminal cabal belong. Those who lack the moral integrity to have stood up to his failures will be exposed as the cowards, the duplicitous politicians, and the morally bankrupt idiots that they have always been, that we've called them out for being. And a new page will have been turned in the rebuilding of a once great nation. Our heroes on the front lines of this pandemic will be duly recognized and supported with the tools and the funding and the resources needed to help us beat COVID-19. Those who work in other service industries will finally be recognized for the tremendous sacrifices and suffering they've had to endure under this administration, and we will begin to heal. It's my wish that as we continue the process of rebuilding after losing almost everything personally this past year ourselves, as I continue to fight to reclaim lost ground in my health from the experience of COVID long hauler syndrome, my wish is for you and for those that you love to find peace, to find healing and growth and prosperity in the coming year and in all of the days to come. So I just wanted to let each one of you know that I love and appreciate you, and I'll be gone most of the next couple weeks as we prepare to move into a new place and leave behind so much that 2020 has represented for us, and so I appreciate you guys. I love you, and my life is truly richer for having had you in it. Have a happy and blessed and joyful new year and all the days that follow that. And I look forward to talking to you guys in 2021. Be well.
Hi, I'm Adrian Grenier, and I'm a guy you might know. That's why I've chosen to speak to you today, because you know my story. Well, some of it anyway. But what if you knew everyone's story? What if everyone on the planet was familiar to everyone else? The Charter for Compassion wants to find out. They're asking you to tell them a piece of your story. One moment of compassion that changed your life. Each story will be inspiring in its own right, but all of them together will reveal a world of compassion happening right now in places all over the world, as diverse as Kentucky all the way to Pakistan and everywhere in between. Imagine it. Thousands of stories told one person at a time. Someone once said, there isn't anyone you couldn't learn to love once you've heard his or her story. Stories make us care. Stories help us understand. Stories breed compassion. And if there's one thing we need right now, in our politics, in our dialogue, in our communities, in our world, it's compassion. Go to charterforcompassion.org and tell your story. And while you're there, affirm the Charter and make a commitment to make the world a more compassionate place. But it's only the first step. Now it's time to practice. It's the only way to a peaceful world. I can't wait to hear your story.